Hello everyone, it's VM Campos, comic book fan. Got another comic book video, but this one is gonna be the one that gets me canceled because I'm gonna have an utterly controversial opinion that will shock you. Now, those of you that can handle it, I applaud you. Those of you that can listen to my irrefutable logic, stick with it. Those of you that will have the knee-jerk reaction, listen to my arguments and believe me. If you're not afraid of being challenged, of not being a stereotypical comic book fan, please listen to what I have to say here. Don't go for the downvote button, the unlike button, until you've heard my full argument. It's worth it. Right, so what is my controversial opinion? I've pulled up here Fantastic Four, number 48, published in March 1966, with a classic cover by Jack the King Kirby, which proclaims the coming of Galactus. This features classic Kirby art, classic Marvel art, truly proclaiming the world's greatest comic magazine. But what if I told you there is one greater than this cover? Here's where the controversy comes in. Here's where you must listen to my argument and not auto-cancel me. There is a better cover than this. Shocking or truthful? Let's see. If we jump a few decades in the future to the glorious 90s, with issue 390 of the Fantastic Four, published in July 1994, we have this rendition of the same cover. This is a Paul Ryan cover. We've got the Jack Kirby cover, we've got the Paul Ryan cover, which is over 9,000 times better. That's the controversial opinion. But wait, don't click off this video. Don't downvote. Let's logically talk about this. First, let me put them side by side. Okay, on the left is Jack the King Kirby, and on the right is Paul the Contender Ryan. Look at these both, and now please try to argue with me that the Kirby art is better. You are wrong. What you're thinking of is nostalgia. It's a classic cover, but it's a worse cover. The cover from the 60s is worse than the cover from the 90s. I know that sounds like blasphemy to you, but let's look at this logically. Look how terrible the Watcher looks. Look at his face. He looks like Sloth from the Goonies. Look at how much better the Watcher's face is in the modern cover. So much more with character, with his omniscient eyes. Look at his clothing. There's this weird purple tunic thing. I don't even know what kind of article of clothing that is. In the modern one, there's this amazing medallion on his chest, regal and majestic blue robes, stately boots, compared to these horrible slippers that he's wearing in the original. Yes, I know you're shocked at what I'm saying, that I actually will dare to contend against Kirby art, but again, it's your nostalgia that is clouding you. Listen to your heart. You know my words to be true. Further, the Fantastic Four themselves are depicted way better. Okay, Reed Richards is missing from the cover of the modern version, but that's okay because this modern cover is not just a recreation of the classic for no reason. It follows a story point, and in that story point, Reed Richards is not in the Fantastic Four, so okay, we can excuse it. On the original, we've got poor, cowering, womanly Sue Storm being comforted by her powerful man of a husband, whereas in the original, she's much more determined with her classic 90s outfit. We've got Johnny Storm, not in his flame powers, but in the modern one, we've got him in his flame powers. Way better. We've got the Thing sort of also cowering in a pose. The Thing doesn't cower. The Thing is ready to strike. And they actually gave him the decency to give him full clothing, not just those little short shorts. Are you convinced yet? Fantastic Four number 390 is much better than Fantastic Four 48. Of course, number 48 is the one you want for your collection if you're a collector. But if you want good art, come to the 90s. One final thing. What's up with that terrible hand there? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Come on, King. You can do better than that with a hand. Check out how Ryan did it. Much better. If you're still with me, let's continue the assault on nostalgia. Let's go to issue 49 of the Fantastic Four with an utterly iconic cover. I love this. If this be Doomsday. And it's a great cover. But once again, it's a failure compared to the Paul Ryan cover. These do not compare. Listen to the sincerity in my voice and use your own eyeballs to see the truth. On the left is classic Kirby art, but on the right is much better Ryan art. I know better is subjective. You should have realized that from the beginning of me speaking. Of course, better is subjective. But I will subject you to my opinion that the modern art is better. Okay, let's break it down why. We've got a weird floating head of Galactus on the left side, with his little hands reaching out towards the Fantastic Four, and an afterthought of lasers coming from his fingertips. Terrible. Compared to the utterly terrifying Galactus in the modern cover, you really get a sense of how huge he is. In the original cover, missing the body, you don't get a sense of that. You get some disembodied head and hands. But in the modern cover, you get him towering over the Fantastic Four. And those laser blasts are 32,768 times better than Kirby's weak attempt. Look at how Galactus is just blasting the Fantastic Four in the world. Now, I will say that I like the exploding world, the exploding floor a little bit better in the modern version, and I like the red tones a little bit better. But look at that Kirby crackle in the modern version. Much better. It fills the whole scene rather than just disembodied darkness. And again, there's the Sue Storm with her, "Will please someone help me? I'm just a weak woman." What kind of pose and expression is that? And Reed, of course, "Let me help you, wife. Just follow me. I've got it under control." Just this is classic 60s sexism. She's a powerful superhero in her own right, but she's still a woman, so in the 60s, she's subordinate. In the modern time, she doesn't need no man. She's leading the Fantastic Four at the time, because again, Reed is not on the cover because he's not in the story. And yes, also Silver Surfer's not on the cover because he's not in the story. But speaking of which, this is just awkward placement. Silver Surfer just flying in front of Galactus, just kind of getting in the way. And I could definitely see Galactus's thought about, "Get out of the way, Surfer, I'm trying to blast these puny humans." He's just awkwardly put into the scene. Yeah, he's in the comic, so of course they got to put him in the cover. And he's missing from the modern version, but he doesn't fit with the story, so that's fine. I love how the Fantastic Three are just getting obliterated by Galactus's blasts here. Johnny is just effed up on the side over here compared to his old version with that hair. The Thing is totally getting trounced compared to, like, what's he doing on the original? Just doing a little bunny hop or something? And then Sue is utterly devastated with those blasts. The corner box is just the classic heads, but the modern 90s version is way better with a disheveled Fantastic Four styling and the Marvel Comics logo that we all know and love compared to the ones that we don't even remember. Marvel Comics Group. Nope, it's Marvel Comics. The placement of the text is also awkward. We've got the Fantastic Four text a little too close to the corner box on the left. It's being covered by the Comics Code Authority label. It's just kind of all kind of jammed up in there a little bit too much compared to the more breathing room of the modern one. 30 years of comic wisdom will have you creating better covers. For example, even Galactus himself, like what's up with that top little hat on him? In the modern version, it's not so extravagant. The expression is also like, I'm a bad guy, I'm coming to get you, compared to, I'm an unknowable entity that merely requires the energy of your world. You are of no consequence. That expression is much better, much more terrifying than the cartoony version of the old days. His proportions in the modern version are also much better than in the classic version. Again, search your feelings. You know me to be true. That the classic cover is classic, but the modern cover is better. That's it. I'm canceled. Have a good day.